We are now doing example 3 on this handout from notes for lesson 8.2. The problem starts out looking like 9x plus 3 times x minus 1 equals negative 8. I don't know if there are any in your homework that are in a form like that, because I tried to simplify this lesson as much as possible. We had to multiply this by FOIL method and add 8 to each side so that we could put this problem in the proper form so that we could tell what A and B and C are. You can do that. I'm not worried about your ability to do that, but I've already done it for you. So A is 9, B is negative 6, and C is 5. We're substituting these values into the quadratic formula. So we have x equals the opposite of negative 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 6 squared minus 4 times 9 times 5 all over 2 times 9, which is 18. When you simplify, you get 6 plus or minus the square root. Use your calculator. Be sure that you put parentheses around that negative 6. You're going to get 36 minus 180 all over 18, which is 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 144 over 18. Notice what you have under that square root symbol is a negative number. When you take the square root of negative 144, you get 12i, so this is 6 plus or minus 12i over 18. My math lab wants this answer to be written in complex number form, so they want this 6 over 18 plus or minus 12 over 18i. In other words, they want the real part and then the imaginary part. Simplify each of those separately. You will get 1/3 plus 2/3 I, and then you will get 1/3 minus 2/3 I. Notice that this time the number we had under the square root symbol was negative 144. This part of this quadratic formula, this b squared minus 4ac, has a special name. That special name is discriminant. In your handout, I have given you a list of the way that this discriminant works in order for you to be able to look at it and tell what your answers will look like. On your handout, you see this. If that discriminant is positive and the square of an integer, you're going to get 2 rational solutions. If it's positive but not a perfect square, this would be like if it is 16, and this would be like if it's 17, because you can take the square root of 16, but you can't take the square root of 17. You get 2 irrational solutions. If that number under the square root symbol is 0, you're going to get 1 rational solution. If it's negative, you're going to get 2 imaginaries, just like we did on that last problem. Sometimes they call these 2 non-reals. Example 4. 6x squared minus x minus 15. Find the discriminant and tell me what kind of answers it has. Well, I know that A equals 6, B equals negative 1, C equals negative 15. And I just want to do b squared minus 4ac, put that in my calculator, negative 1 squared minus 4 times 6 times negative 15. Here I go. Be sure that you open parentheses, negative 1 squared minus 4 times 6 times, open parentheses, negative 15, and you get 361. I can take the square root of 361. It is a perfect square. That means that this problem that we just worked fits the first rule of discriminants. So this one will have two rational solutions. This is 4a. 4b, when you do 3x squared minus 4x equals 5, remember that you have to subtract 5 from both sides before you can tell what a, b, and c are. Do that b squared minus 4ac thing again. This time you have negative 4 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 5. This is going to give you 76. You cannot take the square root of 76. That means that there are two irrational solutions to this. That means that this problem cannot be solved by factoring. Can't factor this one. I probably won't ask you that, but I'll ask you what the answers look like. It's going to be two irrational answers. C. 4x squared plus x plus 1 equals 0. If you do b squared minus 4ac, you will get 1 squared minus 4 times 1, which is negative 15. Two imaginary answers. D. 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 0. This time, when you do this, b squared minus 4ac, you get negative 12 squared minus 4 times 9, which is 0, one real answer. Good luck. This ought to be an easy assignment, the way that I've reduced it. Be sure that you know these discriminant rules, or keep them close whenever you're doing your work.